Well, hey everybody, Don here again. It is Sunday, November 29th, I think it is. Anyways, the Sunday after Thanksgiving. And I've been on vacation for the last 2 weeks. This is my last day. And as you know, I was out in Missouri with my buddy Bobby, with my friends Scott and Brett. Had a fantastic trip out there, as always. And then came home and did not a whole lot of hunting. If you watched any of those videos and you read the descriptions, you would see that when I was dragging my buck out of the brush, I got a vine wrapped around my neck and around my waist, and didn't have any leaves on it, but I'm yanking on it, and well, it turned out it was poison ivy. So shortly after we got home, I had a pretty severe breakout. Actually went and got a prescription of steroids yesterday just to try to knock this thing down. So I really didn't feel like doing a whole lot of hunting the last few days, although I did go out on Friday and I hiked about 3 miles still hunting. It didn't feel very good. So Friday evening I went out and sat in the stand by the swamp, and if you watched that video, you know how that evening ended. Not good. But it's my last day of vacation, so it's a beautiful day. It's probably 45 degrees, nice and cool. I saw a couple nice bucks get checked in down at Bobby's shop earlier today, so I just got the urge. I had to come back out. So, going back into the climbing tree stand, and I'm going to spend the evening up there. Next weekend is the last weekend of our rifle season, and then we have, I think, 8 or 9 more days of bow season. So I'll probably get out next weekend. Although it looks like this week is supposed to be really warm. I think Tuesday is supposed to be up near 60. I may get the kayak back out. Who knows? Anyways, I'm going to get out there. Tomorrow is the last day of our bear season, at least in this zone. And so maybe I'll get fortunate enough and I'll see a bear. If I see the right bear, something in the 150-pound class, with no cubs in tow. I love bear sausage, so see what happens. Stick around. I'm going to get my camo on and we'll get it in the stand. Well, a couple of four-wheelers. I did not see any guns, so I don't think they're hunters. But that's the joy of public land. I don't know, my key doesn't seem to be wanting to open my lock. Well, I just remembered that when we went out to Missouri, I had 2 locks on the cooler, and I had put 2 keys, which are for these same type lock, on my keychain. My other keychain is the one that has the lock to the tree stand. So, but as you can see, four-wheelers running up and down this trail. This hunt has just changed in complexion 180 degrees, and what I'm going to do is head down into the ravine. I'm going to walk the ridge above that ravine and make a ground hunt out of this instead of a climbing tree stand hunt. So that's what I'm going to do. Put my harness in my pack and make the best of my brain cramp. This is right where that spike came down a few weeks ago. He came right down in here where this is kind of a easy transition, went down into this part of the ravine. Just the side of this, just the other side of that hump you see there, it drops off way more severely, and that's the main part of the ravine. All right, I'm going to cut down here and up and across. Well, you can see if you look behind me, I came right down into this ravine. I'm in this creek bed down here. There's a lot of blowdowns. Really hindered my my visibility. So the wind is pushing right up like this, so it's not bad. Even if a buck comes from either direction, I should be in pretty good shape. But instead of sitting, I think I'm going to still hunt my way up this creek bed. That'll take me back towards the Jeep. I'm going to get down in the creek bed where it opens up more, and it's right in the middle of this ravine. You know, this here, it goes up pretty high behind me, as you can see, but here it flattens out before it goes up. It's pretty wide in here. They logged through here, I want to say 2 years ago. It might have been 3 years ago. In fact, it was 3 years ago because it was the year I shot the pig. So if I get down into the stream bed on the other side of it, it's a little bit more open. So what I do when I'm still hunting, I'll look for a spot like that birch tree over there, kind of pick out where I'm going to step, and then I'll go as quietly as I can, keeping my eyes open all around me, and then I'll stop and I'll stay there for a few minutes, maybe 10, and then I'll find another spot to go to and I'll poke over there, keeping my eyes open. It's hard, even though the leaves are kind of wet. There's all this twigs underneath. Big scrape right under this branch. All right. So I'm gonna sit right here. I like this spot. I've got a cut logging trail over here that's grown up nice in hemlock. I got a main trail going up this hill, up the side of the ravine. And it looks like a lot of deer activity coming down. Actually, they cut down right in front of me. There's a big scrape. On the other side of that main trail, there's a rub line. I found 5 fresh rubs, and all of them indicate that the deer might be coming from this way. The wind is very lightly pushing me this way, so it's not great for back here. But I'm wearing total scent lock. I'm going to put my hood on. I showered up with dead downwind just before I got here. I didn't really build up a sweat, and I'm going to spray myself down with deer dander. If I shoot a deer down in here, it's going to be a bitch getting it out. But I'll worry about that when it happens. I could probably get my four-wheeler pretty close into here if I get fortunate enough to get one. We'll see what happens. I'm going to put my scent lock hood on, spray my stuff down with deer dander, and it's 2:30, so I really got about 2 hours. Sunset is at, I think, 4:12 or 4:11 today, and it'll get dark in here quicker with all this hemlock that I'm in. But I'm actually kind of happy that I forgot that I brought the wrong set of keys and I couldn't get up in my tree stand, because I think I like this this spot a little bit better. I like being on the ground. When I got a gun in my hand, when I have a bow in my hand, I want to be in a tree stand. But when I got a gun, I prefer to be still hunting or finding a good place to sit for the last couple hours of the day on the ground and moving a little bit. I like to be mobile. We'll see what happens. The hard thing about hunting in these ravines is that the wind swirls. Earlier it was blowing in this way. Now it's blowing in this way, which is perfect. But in 5 minutes, it's probably going to be blowing that way. It's hard to play the wind in the hills and the valleys and the ravines. But you do what you can. That's why I wear scent lock. You're never going to fool a deer's nose completely, but every bit helps. I just saw a doe and a skipper. Down there, I lost sight of them. The wind. A little bit coming like this. They go that way. It's about 3:30. About 15 minutes ago, I had a doe and a skipper come down that hill over there. Thought for sure they would turn and come this way. But they must have gone the other way because I've been watching behind me here to see if they went that way. I never saw them. And I just can't see through this thick stuff here. Once they got behind those trees, they were out of my sight. So I've been watching pretty closely over there to see if any bucks are following, but 15 minutes later, nothing. I think I'm going to just throw my pack on and poke over this next little ridge, because if she was coming down that trail, why wouldn't a buck? Let's take a quick little, quiet little poke over here, about 50 yards, maybe 40 yards. See what I see. Hopefully I won't regret it. Deer blowing. 3 blows. Not my wind. My wind is going this way. I just had that deer blowing up on that hill. I don't believe they were blowing at me, because I was sitting still for a good 5 minutes before they started blowing, and my wind is not going that way. I kind of hate to move, but I'm going to cut down this way, because if they were blowing, they were going that way. And they're either going to go up over that hill, or they're going to cut back down across this brook and come back into this way. I got nothing to lose. It's going on 4 o'clock. Sun will be setting in about 13, 14 minutes. Those deer were going that way. I'm betting anything they went up over the hill. That would be the most likely place for them to go. But if they want to get into this big, thick stuff. All right. Well, the sun is set, and I probably got 3/4 of a mile now to get back out of here and get to the Jeep, and I'm going to have to work my way up that steep bank. So I'm going to shut the cameras off now. The battery's just about dead, and I'm going to start poking back to the towards the Jeep. It was a fun night. I was happy to be on the ground. Almost kind of glad that I forgot the key to the tree stand lock. Well, brought the wrong keys. So, excellent night. Saw a couple of deer, heard another one, maybe the same one, but no big bucks. We're holding out for a big buck here in New Hampshire. Well, that ain't no deer rub. Look how high he broke that tree off. I'm standing here as high as my gun reaches. Moose. There's the trail I wanted to go up, way down there. Maybe a moose is what jumped those deer. Well, I just came up the steepest, longest part of that ravine because I thought that trail that the skidders made would be easy to walk on, but I had to come off of it because there was so much crap under the grass growing in it. Got up to the top. Big deer took off going that way. It's 20 after 4, so there's still 15, 20 minutes. Whew, well, it was an interesting night. First off, brought the wrong keys, so couldn't go up in the tree stand, so I decided to hunt on the ground. And found some really good spots, really good signs, some big rubs, bunch of scrapes. I know the rut's winding down, but those deer are still out looking. I had quite a hike back. I went farther than I'd thought. But just as I was coming up that big bank that I thought deer would travel down, got up to the very top of it and jumped a big deer, a buck. I saw some rack on his head. I couldn't tell what. He spun and gone. But I believe if I would have decided to sit in that spot where I first sat for the whole night, that deer would have come right down that trail and I might have had a shot at it. But that's deer hunting. I'm always getting fidgety and wanting to move to the next best spot. So it was a lot of fun. Cool night. End of my vacation. Back to work tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe you'll see me in the kayak on Tuesday night. Peace.